And it turned out our weapon of choice was food. When Grim gained 10 pounds, there was no way to tell with his overall bulk. But when a little thing like Monster did, well, it showed. If Tanner ever comes back and sees her like that... I cut off my thought. He wasn't coming back. He couldn't. I ran through the logic again in my head, hoping this time it would sink in. Even if I found a portal, bringing him and Ava back into Eastwind would upset nature's balance. We could never have our circle in the same realm again without dire consequences. We'd seen those play out, and they weren't pretty. We were lucky no one in Eastwind had been killed when that portal ripped open and all those nasties crawled out. But I couldn't imagine that such good fortune would strike again. Tanner is gone. It had become a bit of a mantra of mine, and I was glad to start needing it less and less. As much as I hate cliches, I guess what they say about time healing wounds is true to some extent. But with the 1-year anniversary of when I entered Eastwind, stumbled out of the Deadwoods, and wandered right into medium rare, stirring up those old memories, it felt like a losing battle to not think about him. That soft grin, those hazel eyes, the smell of his fresh-baked cherry pie filling the dining room. The bell above the door tinkled, and I snapped out of my reverie. I was supposed to be working. The silverware had just been a filler while my tables were eating, but I'd wasted enough time now. I'd hired on a couple of new servers who were friends of Greta's from school, Daphne and Benito, but they were only so-so. I'd had to comp so many meals because of their careless mistakes, I was thinking about turning the place into a charity, some kind of soup kitchen, but with queso. If only Ava was still around. I missed her for a lot of reasons, the least of which was her help around the diner. How many times had she given me common-sense advice while she worked here, and in a way that made it clear she cared and wasn't just trying to shut me up? That in itself was a kind of magical ability, and add it to the long list of those I didn't possess. Deputy Stu Manchester approached the counter, hiked up his belt, and grunted as he slid onto a stool. "Morning, Ms. Ashcroft." "Morning, Deputy. The usual?" He nodded once, and I put in the order for a short stack of cherry pancakes, then fetched him his coffee. I brought him over a glass of water, too. It was about as much as I could do to encourage him to take care of himself. His short-lived attempt to eat right and get in shape for dating had suffocated under the crushing weight of being the only deputy in Eastwind once again. Who was I to deprive him of carb loading and tablespoons of sugar in his coffee? But I'd secretly taken it upon myself to, at the very least, keep the man hydrated so he didn't keel over. "How was the shift?" I asked. He grunted before taking a long sip of water. Little droplets clung to the ends of his mustache as he pulled the glass away. "Not great. But, as I was writing up a report about Gladys Weatherby's missing flower pot, I realized that it was a year ago today that Bruce Saxon was murdered." "Right. Oof." In my self-absorbed state, I'd forgotten that there had also been a murder on my death-iversary. That meant both Bruce Saxon and I shared a death-iversary. Cute. "Happy Death Day, Bruce." "And then," Stu went on, "as I was thinking on the particulars of that case, I remembered that it happened the day you came into town." He narrowed his eyes at me. "Don't tell me you're reopening the case with me as the main suspect." "Of course not. But this must be a big day for you. 1 year in Eastwind?" I smiled. "I guess so." "It's a big day for Eastwind, I can tell you that. Life around here hasn't been the same since you dropped in." When I arched an eyebrow at his ambiguous statement, he cleared his